Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Anderson and I am the educator at the Bluebonnet Swamp Nature Center. And today I'm going to give you a little bit of information all about ducks. So to get us started, I have a couple pictures of ducks that are native to Louisiana. So if you're ever out walking around the LSU lakes, or maybe if you're on a hike near some wetlands, you might see some of these ducks. This one is a gadwall duck, and all of these pictures I'm going to show you are of male ducks in their breeding plumage. A common eider, not so common this far south in Louisiana, but if you get lucky, you might spot one. This is a common merganser duck. Has very interesting head plumage, easy to identify. This is a fulvous whistling duck. More commonly, you might see a black-bellied whistling duck in the LSU lakes. They look a little bit like this, but they're more brown and then a dark black stomach. This is an American widgeon duck. One of the most common ducks that you're going to see around Louisiana and most of North America is the mallard. Another type of waterfowl that's not actually a duck, but it is a waterfowl, is the Canada goose. A bufflehead duck, which I think is quite adorable with their bright teal and purple feathers. This is another type of waterfowl that is not a duck, but you might see one in the LSU lakes, American coot. They're pretty much all black with a whitish yellow beak, so they're easy to identify if you spot them. A green-winged teal. You can see they have this nice teal plumage on their head. This is a mottled duck. Sometimes people mistake these for mallards, but they are not. And a northern pintail. So that's all I have for pictures of ducks, but even more special is I do have two taxidermy wood ducks right here, and these are probably the most special ducks that you'll see hanging around Louisiana. You can see them in the LSU lakes, and you can even spot them here at the Nature Center when you're hiking on our trails if you get really lucky. They are the only duck in North America that actually will nest in trees. So we have nest boxes here on site that we've placed up in hopes that wood ducks will nest in them, and occasionally we do get some wood ducks that hang out in those boxes. So, just a little bit of basics about ducks. All ducks have waterproof feathers. Because they are waterfowl, they spend a lot of their life on top of water or diving into water. So all over their body they have outer feathers that are waterproof. And underneath of those feathers they have down. Their feathers are so tight and waterproof that the down will not get wet when they dive underwater. Something that's very special about ducks and other birds as well is right at the base of their back, at the top of their tail, they have an oil gland. So when a duck is lounging around, they will take their beak and bend over to the back of their back, right around here, and pick up oil on their beak and then spread it all over their feathers. And this oil helps to keep their feathers nice and waterproof so that they can live the life that they need to. There are two main categories of ducks. The first is skimmer ducks, which means that they eat most of their food at the surface of water. So they take their beak and they go like this all around. You might see them eating bugs or duckweed. And then there's also diving ducks. So those are ducks that are going to dive pretty far underwater to catch their food, like fish and other things like that. Inside of their beaks, they do have really itty bitty teeth that help them to eat. And something that I think is really unique about ducks is that they actually sleep with one eye open. So they'll close one eye and leave one open, and they can actually turn off half of their brain so that half of their brain can rest and the other half is awake and alert enough that if there are predators nearby, they can wake up and fly away if need be. Because ducks spend most of their life on water, they not only have those waterproof feathers, but they also have feet that are perfectly fitted for swimming and navigating water. They have webbed toes. So if you look at this duck's feet, you can see that in between its three toes, there is a piece of skin. And this helps it to move through the water, kind of like a canoe paddle. So it helps it swim through the water instead of just sitting and floating on top. So here in Louisiana, you can spot up to 40 different types of waterfowl. And that's because we are a part of the Mississippi Flyway. which basically means that as ducks are migrating from all the way as far north as Canada and as far south as down into the Gulf of Mexico and South America, many ducks will either stay here in Louisiana or they will take a pit stop here to get some food and take a rest while they're migrating and then continue on their way. So again, we have up to 40 different types of waterfowl. So that's not just ducks, that would be things like geese and those American coots that I showed you before. If you are interested in going out and looking for ducks yourself and you don't want to go to the LSU lakes, you want to go somewhere else, any type of marshland would be a great place to look for ducks. A marshland is going to be a wetland without any trees. So we're here in a swamp right now, which is a wetland that has trees, but a marsh is a wetland with no trees. And because most ducks are not like wood ducks, they do not nest in trees, that's going to be the best place to find them. If you're looking for some female ducks, they might be really hard to spot because most female ducks have really dull feathers to help them camouflage in their environment because they are the ones that sit on the nest and wait for their eggs to hatch. So it's important that they can blend into their environment. But you might get lucky and spot one if you're looking along the edge of a waterway, or you might see some beautiful male ducks with their bright plumage flying around in the sky. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. I hope you learned a little bit about ducks, and stay tuned for some awesome crafts that we're gonna teach you about later.